The news is live on Joy 99.7 FM here in Accra and Kumasi. We are on Love 99.5 FM affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions. You are on myjoyonline.com, A1 Radio in Bogatanga, Ganga FM in Jirapa. We are also on Jubilee Radio in Keta. We are live on X Spaces. We are on Facebook. The Midday News is supported by Petrol Sol, your clean fuel in full quantity. Petrol Sol is always a delightful experience. This afternoon, it is emerging that over half of procurement irregularities recorded by the Auditor General in 2023 came from the Education Ministry. We have all the details here on the Midday News. Also this afternoon, CTAC strike unlikely to end anytime soon as striking tutors boycott meeting scheduled to decide the future of the action.
When the signed document is presented to us, we will convene a meeting and then the outcome will be made known to all our members and the general public.
We have more. Students remain in dilemma as the academic progress stalls.
Money we came with for the semester is even
because they don't come and lecture us on some subjects. We lack some explanations on some concepts in the things that we learn. I'm expecting that the call of the strike.
Also, this afternoon, labour unions demand major overhaul of SNIT, pushing for capped expenses and a reduction in government influence on its board as they consider taking control of the organisation.
Restructuring of SNIT in terms of its governance, management.
There seem not to be a cap.
SNIT and its management of our pension resources have not been the best.
And their sports.
Hearts of Oak will have to wait longer for a trophy as head coach Abubakar Ouattara has a new target for the upcoming season.
And then much later, we'll get to hear from former chairman of the Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining, Professor Kwabena Frimpong Boateng, who has expressed regret for taking up a role in the Akufo-Addo government, indicating he was not giving a free hand to implement ideas.
You know, you go in with very good intentions and then what you see is different from what my vision was. If I had known certain things that I know now, I may not have even gone into government.
That and more in this afternoon's edition of the Midday News. I am Emefa. Apawu, please do stay on for details. Many thanks for choosing us. This is your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. We're digging more into the Auditor General's report under the year in review 2023, and it is emerging this afternoon that more than half of the procurement irregularities recorded in the 2023 Auditor General's report on public accounts of Ghana came from the Education Ministry. Out of the 53.7 million Ghana cedis recorded in procurement irregularities, as many as 29.6 million cedis, representing 55% of all the irregularities, falls under the Education Ministry. Well, my colleague Blessed Soga has been digging into that part of the report and joins me in studio with what more we are learning. So, Blessed, tell us about the procurement irregularities from the Education Ministry as captured by the Auditor General.
Well, according to the report, the infractions reported are not directly from the Education Ministry itself, but rather from various institutions and its jurisdiction. Now, the most significant issue, as we know it, occurred at the University of Cape Coast. The university is said to be awarding contracts for building of some building construction project totaling some 24 million Ghana cedis, but those contracts were increased by 25 million Ghana cedis. So if you do the addition, that will bring us to some 49 million cedis, an average of variation, rating somewhere around 104% in terms of the infractions. Now, the change, as we understand, was made without the required approval from the Central Tender Review Committee, which is thus violating Section 87 of the Procurement Act 2008. Now, the university's management did not also respond to these findings, according to the report. So, the Auditor General is now recommending sanctions and Section 92 of the Act, which they believe should be applied to all officers responsible. And, of course, they're urging the university's management to adhere strictly to the Procurement Act in the future. There was also another issue somewhere around the Quintana Pia Minka University of Skills Training and Entrepreneurial Development, where the university awarded contracts totaling some 414,000 Ghana cedis, 214 plus. Now, they awarded the contracts to two firms, as we understand, the Maiden Healthcare Logistics Company, and they also gave one other contract to another supplier who did not get some licenses from the Food and Drugs Authority, the Pharmacy Council, and also the manufacturers authorized to engage in the supply of essential drugs to the university. So some of these issues were captured, and that many of the infractions that were picked up at the Ministry of Education.
Now, Blessed, there are other forms of irregularities also that were found under the Education Ministry. Let's go through them.
A myriad of them. The ministry featured in all irregularities, the types listed by the Auditor General. It includes outstanding debtors, of course, cash irregularities. We have payroll irregularities, and also there are issues about procurement and contract irregularities, which is now recorded by the ministry and totaling some 54.7 million Ghana cedis. And if you do the tallying, it appears that this ministry is on top of the list when it comes to infractions and the report by the Auditor General.
And of course, as we speak, the Public Accounts Committee is sitting on portions of this particular report, and we have more on this put together by the Joy Research team on myjoyonline.com that you can read for yourself. At least we've been focusing on the Education Ministry today as captured in the Auditor General's report for the year 2023. Now let's stay on the education front and focus this time on CTAG, and they remain defiant and resolute until all demands are met. Well, that's been the posturing of members of the Colleges of Education Teachers Association of Ghana, CTAG, who've been on strike since June 14th, demanding better conditions of service, including the implementation of the arbitral awards given by the National Labour Commission. Well, there's currently a salary freeze on the members based on a GTEC directive, and this has, however, not cowed the teachers to back down. They say they are even ready to forfeit 2 more months of their salary if that is what it would get them to get what is due them. A meeting this morning to decide the next line of action after an agreement between leadership and the Education Ministry was called off. This was because CTAG did not see any signature from the Finance Ministry to seal the agreement, a situation they say does not signify a collective agreement. We can hear from a member of CTAG's National Communications team, Fidelis Kamai.
We were expecting an agreement that should have been signed by the ministry key stakeholders, so that based on that document we could have a discussion at our meeting, and then based on it we'll have a decision. But we have not received the document from the ministry, so because of that we could not have the meeting.
So do you have a copy of the document without a signature, or you don't have it at all?
We don't have it.
What are the details in this document?
Because it has not been made available, we don't want to give any information as at now.
But would it have made you consider halting or stopping the strike?
I cannot say, because that decision has to be taken by our council.
Is it a collective decision of all the members, or a selected few that have a very strong
voice? It's a collective decision. You can call any tutor from any of the colleges and they will sing the same song to you.
So now, what have you decided? You are waiting till you see a signature?
Yes, when the signed document is presented to us, we will convene a meeting, and then the outcome will be made known to all our members and the general public.
Well, that's Fidelis Kamai. I'll be interacting with him shortly, because the key issue has been the impact on the students, and some of them have been speaking to us on this issue.
The strike is having huge impact on the students and the economic situation that we are in right now. Feeding on campus is something that we cannot bear anymore. That when you move outside to buy food, costs above 20 cedis, and we've been here for over a month now. So money we came with for the semester is even finished.
We've not been going to classes and we've been learning on our own. And because they don't come and lecture us on some subjects, we lack some explanations on some concepts in the things that we learn, and it is impacting us. I'm expecting that they call off the strike and come to school and come and continue their service to the nation.
Ever since we came to school, there has not been any teaching or anything like that. Sometimes you need a guide of your teacher to be able to understand what you are studying, but you just go and read with your own understanding, which is not actually helping or improving our studies on campus.
Well, let me bring in Fidelis Kamai, a member of the communications team for CTAG. We are grateful for your time here on the Midday News. So that signature that you're waiting for in the last few minutes, would you say that it has come?
Good afternoon to you and your cherished listeners. As we speak, we have not yet received the document yet.
And what could be the explanation so far? I'm sure you've been finding out, because we're all waiting for that council meeting that will potentially call off this action. What exactly has been the reasons why the signature has not come?
They are still waiting for the key stakeholder to sign. That's what we were told by one of our informants, our insiders.
And this particular document that we talk about, is it the answer to this particular strike being called off?
I wouldn't want to say yes because that decision needs to be taken by our council. So when they look at the pros and then the cons of what is on paper, then the decision will be taken.
Then it appears that it's just an excuse that you are giving when it comes to this particular document, because if you cannot say that is the answer to calling of this strike, then why are you waiting for it?
No, the thing is that we need to table something at the table, then based on what has been proposed, we'll take a decision from there. It will be out of place for a single person or individual like me to take a decision or tell you that this is what we are going to do. It will mean I'm preempting the outcome of the meeting, which will not be right.
But what exactly was the agreement when you had this particular meeting?
Because we have not appended their signatures to it, I don't want us to go into the content of the agreement.
But you need to let us know what exactly you're looking for at this point, because we've been hearing the students, the impact on the students. It's been more than 6 weeks since this action. You owe us an explanation.
Yes, we sympathize with our students so much, and it's not our making. This thing has lingered on for over a year now. Now we are having 18 to 19 months arrears. So you should also bear with us a little. It's unfortunate our students are bearing the brunt.
So up until when would you say CETA can confidently tell us that this issue will be resolved?
The resolution of this matter is dependent on our employers. If the demands, whatever we are making, they call us, let's say today, and tell us that, oh, Monday, your account will be credited. That's all. We call it off. After all, what will we be doing at home when we have everything that we need?
Okay. Well, Mr. Kamai, we are grateful. That's a Fidelis Kamai there, a member of the communications team of CTAG. We've also been working the lines to ensure that we get some answers from the employer in terms of this particular signature and documents that CTAG talks about. But let's focus on our finances at this point. And Minister of State at the Finance Ministry, Abnose Asare, has been justifying why government cannot scrap the COVID-19 and electronic levies ahead of the presentation of the mid-year budget statement on the floor of Parliament. Calls were rife for the two revenue handles to be scrapped, citing increased cost of doing business. However, the two did not feature in the mid-year budget review by Finance Minister Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam. But speaking on PM Express Business Edition with my colleague George Riafe, the Minister of State at the Finance Ministry, Abnose Asare, explained that the COVID-19 levy and the e-levies are crucial in financing the 2024 budget.
For the COVID levy, if you recall, when we sent that revenue measure to Parliament, we said it is subject to review at the end of 2024. Maybe we should be patient enough because, like I said, that the effects of COVID are still with us. When at the onset of COVID, government took advantage of that to do so many things that hitherto we did not have. Government felt that every district should have a district hospital. It was part of the package that we embarked upon with COVID. And we are still building those hospitals, Agenda 111. So it is not like we are not living with the effects of COVID. We are still living with the effects of COVID. So it's not like we are collecting these monies and we are not showing up for it. All these measures that were put in place and it's still going on. And I know very soon government will be outdooring 21 of these Agenda 111 hospitals for everybody to see that, yes, these are some of the effects of COVID. We have both the positive sides and then the negative sides. These are revenue lines that we went to Parliament in 2024 and told Parliament that we were going to use this to raise monies to implement the budget. So halfway between, the year, when you have already budgeted for these things, how then do you tell yourself you are taking it off? And then how do you fund the rest of the budget?
That's the Minister of State at the Finance Ministry, Abnose Asare there, speaking on PM Express Business Edition with George Riafe. Is available on all our social media platforms, also on YouTube as well. Meanwhile, on the floor of Parliament, minority and majority MPs have been going at each other as they debate the mid-year budget presentation, with government borrowing in sharp focus. Parliamentary Affairs correspondent gives us a wrap of day one of the debate.
It's been close to 72 hours since the minister delivered a statement in Parliament. But there's been several back and forth on when exactly to start commenting. MPs have begun, with NDC MPs taking aim at the state of the economy. Minority spokesperson on food and agric, Eric Opoku, talked about Ghana's ballooning debt stock and the struggles of the cocoa sector.
Has increased our debt stock by a whopping $622 billion. Mr. Speaker, what it means is that Nanadu Bawumia government has created 84% of our total debt stock. And all the presidents, from Dr. Kwame Nkrumah to John Dramani Mahama, in 60 years, created 16% of our debt. At a time that cocoa production is declining, administrative expenditure is ballooning.
But responding to these claims, Minister of State at the Finance Ministry, Abinel Siasare, doubled down on the claims that the economy is improving.
Clearly tells you that the economy is on the path of recovery, and we are happy with the policies that we have put in place to make sure the economy gets back on track. Mr. Speaker, we all know inflation. We saw inflation going up to 54.1% in December 2022. Currently, as we speak, in June, inflation has fallen to 22.8%. The fact remains that we have performed well, we have made progress.
Ranking member on the Finance Committee, Isaac Adongo, zeroed in on youth unemployment and the latest promise by the new Patriotic Party's flag bearer on citizens buying phones and paying in installments.
They intentionally created this unemployment for our youth so they could pay them for election purposes. Otherwise, why will you look the unemployed in the face and you are not telling them how you are getting them a job, but you are telling them you want to saddle them with a mobile phone so that they pay 1 cedi, 2 cedi every month?
Well, that's a wrap of day one in terms of the mid-year budget review debate in Parliament. Let me take you live. Parliamentary Affairs correspondent Kweku Asante joins us on the line. What's the situation today? Day two started?
Well, the Speaker of Parliament just walked in. In fact, the minority and majority leaders also just entered the chamber. We understand a list have been submitted to the Speaker to guide the debate today. We understand a part of the MPP strategy going in today will not only be debating the mid-year budget review, but inviting former President John Mahama to debate. I have Honorable Fortune Madoma East MP, who will also be debating in the coming days to let us in on this strategy. Why are you people seeming to pressurize the former president to come out and debate?
I'm going to thank you, and let me say good afternoon to your good listeners. Clearly, I mean, the former president has been a president before, has been a vice president before, he has been a minister before, and he knows a lot. That he's telling Ghanaians that he's bringing a lot to support them, to make them better than what the MPP is offering them. And we are saying, bring that to bear so that Ghanaians can choose from the two. Obviously, we need to give Ghanaians options. We don't need to give them a one-sided story that Bawumia said, Bawumia has the bold solutions, and he knows what he's about. He knows what he's come to do. John Mahama must also tell us that I have this. The 24-hour, this is what I'm going to do so that Ghanaians can have options to select from. I mean, tomorrow, they are during their campaign. And I think it will be a good opportunity for him to affirm his readiness to debate Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ahead of the 2024 election.
Right, Emefa, that is part of the strategy the NDC are going to use going into the election. I know that a number of NDC MPs are leaving Parliament today. They are traveling to Tamale for this event. In fact, the Speaker of Parliament even mooted the idea that sitting should be extended to tomorrow, Saturday, but MPP MPs and the NDC MPs come to an agreement that MPP MPs will be using this strategy on the floor today. Emefa.
That's my colleague Kweku Asante, Parliamentary Affairs correspondent, giving us updates on what's transpired in Parliament and what is to happen. Now let's focus on lands, and the coalition of La associations and the Gadangbe Coalition Against Land Injustice say they will embark on a series of actions starting July 30 in demand for the immediate reversal of government and other private ownership of their lands. The two groups are raising concerns about how lands on their soil are being sold out to politically affiliated persons, claiming it depicts a high insult by government to their traditional authorities. So the coalition of La associations and the Gadangbe Coalition Against Land Injustice have since instructed all private developers who have started or intend to start some works on La lands to, as a matter of urgency, halt the process while the traditional authorities engage government on the matter. Jeffrey Tete is spokesperson for the coalition of La associations.
Many others have come under scrutiny for being sold to politicians, politically exposed persons, or some other private developers under the so-called government redevelopment program, a scheme which is violently against the interests of the pre-acquisition owners or pre-acquisition land owners. These lands include, but not limited to, the parcel of land under the parks and gardens at cantonments, several state housing properties at South Laboni and cantonments, the Ministry of Agric lands beside Bema Camp overpass, and the judges' bungalows, which has also come into the public domain in cantonments in recent times. We are by this media briefing asking all private developers who have started or intend to start some work on these lands to, as a matter of urgency, halt while the traditional authorities engage with government on the matter, are also announcing by this press briefing a series of demonstrations commencing on Tuesday, July 30th, 2024, to drive home our displeasure and demand the reversal of all affected transactions.
Well, as a follow-up, the two groups have also released a joint statement on this issue, and my colleague Kenneth JC joins me in studio with more on this. Let's talk about what more the statement says.
Right. They're particularly unhappy with the latest announcement by the Interior Minister, Henry Quartey, who they say recently announced on the floor of Parliament that an arrangement has been made with a private developer to redevelop portions of the lands occupied by the Ghana Prison Service in cantonments. Now, the groups described the decision as an immoral arrangement which makes room for the private developer to retain the remainder of the land for his private business without any provision for the traditional authorities, who they describe as allodia owners of the land, adding that those are bad decisions which should not be countenanced. The two groups have asked government to halt the process and leave that whole parcel of land for the use by the prison service.
Well, we heard earlier some actions that you're going to be undertaking to put pressure on government to retain their lands. Let's talk about them.
Yes, and they say they will, from Tuesday, July 30th, begin series of demonstrations which will continue until their demands are met.
Thank you very much. That's my colleague Kenneth JC there. Now, labor unions are this afternoon calling for a major overhaul of SNIT, pushing for capped expenses and a reduction in government influence on its board as they consider taking control of the organization. In a recent discussion on the latest Joy News National Dialogue last night, labor experts emphasized the need for urgent reforms in the pensions industry. They urged the government to address the long-standing issues with Tier 2 pension payment and to review the current law to ensure that pension contributions are tied to gross emoluments rather than just basic salary. Michael Ashali has more from Joy News Dialogue last night.
For some of them, the main problem is the governance and politicization of SNIT.
There are governance problems with SNIT. There are operational problems with SNIT.
SNIT and its management of our pension resources have not been the best.
Independent researcher Abdullah Mashoud, who is the executive director of Africa Center for Pension Research, believes the problem is far worse.
About 81% of employers who are employing between 1 to 30 employees are not paying social security contributions under Tier 2.
But SNIT would have none of that. Chief Actuary at SNIT, Joseph Poku, says payments are done by the book.
Lowest earner will be based on the minimum wage, the national minimum wage, which now is around almost 400 Ghana cedis also. At the same time, somebody is getting 187,000 Ghana cedis every single month.
The panelists believe that there must be major reforms in the pensions industry to bring it back on track.
As organized labor, also look at going into the future, representation on any kind of board when it comes to these investments. As we speak, all the security forces have gone into captivity. So where is the unification of pensions here? And from what we've heard, we look at the restructuring of SNIT in terms of its governance, management. Organized labor can lead in this direction. Our technical committee has started working.
We have to look at the pension redistribution policy.
There seems not to be a cap, and SNIT expenditure, we believe most of the funds, instead of going either into investment or accruing to the benefit of the members, is going into the management of the fund.
Austin Gami sides with the labor unions.
The governance structure is key. The president will have no business being the one, whether law or no law. We must go to a national tripartite committee meeting and have this important discussion concerning the socio-economic importance of it for us.
Executive Secretary of the Chamber of Pension Trustees, Thomas Esso, argues that pension contributions should be based on gross emoluments instead of just the basic salary.
SNIT and the private pension, all of us, to start fighting for what we call that SNIT or pensions should be tied to your gross emoluments.
Abdullah Mashoud says some attention must also be given to Tier 2 and Tier 3 contributions.
You know, we are looking at a 3-tier pension system. And if we go and we are just looking at Tier 1, without really focusing on what is happening at Tier 2, or we focus on tier 2 and not looking at what is happening under tier 1, at the end of the day, we are not going to meet the overall objectives. It is important we look at it as a whole.
Well, that's an excerpt from the Joy News Dialogue focusing on pensions. There'll be a repeat on Sunday evening also. We'll have more of that on myjoyonline.com, also on all our social media platforms. It's a good time to take a quick break here on the Midday News Live on Joy 99.7 FM here in Accra and Kumasi on Love 99.5 FM. Also on myjoyonline.com, the Midday News supported by Petrol Sol. Your clean fuel and full quantity Petrol Sol, always a delightful experience. And it's been imagined that over half of procurement irregularities recorded by the Auditor General in the 2023 report came from the Education Ministry. We've been giving you details of that. We'll return from the break with sports, and later we'll get to hear from Professor Kwabena Frimpong Boateng, who has expressed regret for taking up a role in the Akufo-Addo government. Yes, why?
You know, you go in with very good intentions, and then what you see is different from what my vision was. If I had known certain things that I know now, I may not have even gone into government.
Is all about. Get closer to split-second wins. Closer to history in the making. Closer to your champions. The greatest athletic achievements of all time. Get DSTV to get closer to the 2024 Paris Olympic Games from 26 July to 11 August with 9 dedicated channels for the best coverage of every medal and every podium moment. On Supersport on DSTV, your home of entertainment.
When budgets are tight and money difficult to come by, you want to be sure you get the best value for your money. These are not times to be spending money fixing expensive engine problems because of cheap fuel and lubricants. Drive to a petrol source station today and buy your quality fuel and lubricants, and rest assured of fuel that lasts long and lubricants that prevent expensive engine problems. Hear the sound. Petrosol, clean fuel in full quantity.
The luckiest star 712 hash. Luck is everywhere for everyone, yeah.
Here's to the friends who dialed star 712 hash and found no regrets. To the investors who struck gold. To the health workers who diagnosed luck with precision. To the tough guy who couldn't hold back his tears. To the passionate fan who couldn't contain his joy. To the seamstress who turned her hard-earned stitches into a bundle of happiness. And now, here's to you. Your next big win is right here.
Luck is everywhere for everyone.
Dial star 712 hash. Now join in the luckiest winning celebration. Every 1st July 2024. Over dial star 712 hash. Now I can to take it through as a group, individual, and now even as a community. Now win is the prizes are in the community draw, or go for the grand draw on the 30th of November 2024. Unlock your luck with star 712 hash. Now join in the winning streak now.
The luckiest
star 712 hash.
Luck is everywhere for everyone, yeah. The luckiest.
It's time for sports. Mubarak, what do we have?
Yes, I will talk about Haas later, but later today, the opening ceremony of the 2024 Olympic Games will come off at the Seine River in Paris, where boats will carry athletes and dignitaries. Emefa, we will have 2 flag bearers, that is high jumper Rosie Aboa and sprinter Joseph Polamoa.
It's an honor to me. It makes me feel really honored and distinguished to, given this type of opportunity to, go out there and do this, hold the country's flag. It's another milestone, it's my career.
Wow.
So, Emefa, we have 3 events to participate in. I'm talking about the men's relay, high jump, as well as swimming.
We look forward to it, and I know Jackie and Shola will give us more updates on this. But former chairman of the Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining, Professor Kwabena Frimpong Boateng, has revealed his regret in taking up a role in government, disclosing that he was not allowed a free hand to function in full capacity to implement his visions. That's what he told Elton Robe.
No, we cannot be out of politics. Everybody is in politics, but you may not be, I would say, active, but not the type of politics that you see.
But what have you been up to since you left government?
Working all the time. I always have lots of things on my plate. Working in a hospital, teaching, doing research with my colleagues in Germany, building schools, colleges, and lots.
But do you miss your time in government, first as an environment minister, given a unique responsibility in government? Do you miss those times?
I don't miss it at all because of, you go in with very good intentions and then what you see is different from what my vision was. So I don't miss it at all. I mean, if I had known certain things that I know now, I may not have even gone into government.
That's Professor Kwabena Frimpong-Boateng there speaking to my colleague Elton Brobe, and all roads lead to Paris this weekend, and the jet is ready. Shola and Jackie, are you ready?
Yes, we are.
So here we go. Olympics, what's happening?
No, before the Olympics, Black Sheriff has added another talent. He has unlocked a new talent. Have you seen him dancing before?
He's joining Lexus and everyone, the dancing team.
He's in the same class with Lexus.
Yes,
but
he's
serious.
No, I think he's better though.
Oh, he's
better. Okay. He has unlocked his new talent. We saw that on X, and he was dancing so much that Ghanaians are, commenting. So someone says, I'm sure Blacko can dance for a loan at IMF for us. So, the way he was dancing there, it was very serious.
I know, right?
Really serious dance.
Well, Paris Olympics is trending, and Celine Dion, everyone is expectant. The first time she performed was in 1994, and right now she's back. In 2019, she performed.
Her final.
And she's back after the stiffness syndrome that she was diagnosed with. So everyone is expectant of her. We are hoping and
performing live.
Live alongside Lady Gaga.
Oh, we look forward to it, ladies. Let's go. I'll take you to Paris this weekend. Are you ready?
We are ready. We are ready.
We get out of here. There's more when you log on to myjoyonline.com. Living Word with Pastor Mensah Otabil is up next. We are getting ready for Greater Works, 29 July to the 2nd of August. You can't miss it. The Grace of Our Lord Jesus Christ, episode 5. Up next, I am Emefa Apawu. Have a good afternoon.
I can't wait to fly.
Now, Vinny Junior,
all your best football friends are waiting for you to join them for a thrilling football season on GoTV. Get GoTV Max now to enjoy La Liga, Serie A, Europa League, and more for only 140 Ghana cedis per month. Reconnect today, dial *759# and get all the action. GoTV, love it.
Hey, managing a business is not easy. I mean, all the beyond boss, CEO, entrepreneur, it takes hard work and a whole lot of please come and buy. Me, I'm getting tired though. I mean, I care about my business, but this stress and sleepless nights. Hey!
Dentina, won't MTN SME month maybe. Yes, yeah, fine pound. See, right Enoch, who sells electronics on our junction. He participated last year and he got a lot of expert advice and some tech things that has made running his business very easy.
Because it's like he's not part of us.
It's time to take your business to the next level with modern tools and solutions designed with you in mind. Join MTN Business this July in Accra and Kumasi as we partner with SMEs for growth. Visit mtn.com.gh/business or call or WhatsApp 0244 308 111 for inquiries. MTN.
Exciting times indeed. No need to stress about always using your laptops or desktops to get news on your favorite news portal, myjoyonline.com. Life becomes easy with Joy. We've got you covered. Simply go to your app store on your mobile phone and download our new My Joy Online app, conveniently designed to enhance your reading experience. Watch and listen to your favorite MGO shows and stay updated with our political, entertainment, sports, business, lifestyle, and research stories. Joy News, independent, fearless, and credible.
The happenings in international sport bring us history, numbers, and moments, some of which can be repeated and others only once in a lifetime. But when all these are said and done, one platform, the Joy Sports Link on Joy 99.7 FM, becomes the convergent point for all the deep conversations. On the Joy Sports Link, we delve into the issues from expert and specialist angles with athletes and the persons who make these great things happen. This surely is your preferred platform for delving into the critical sporting issues and bringing the celebrated names and faces behind them. The Joy Sports Link is on every Saturday from 12:10 p.m. to 2 p.m. And I'm your host. My name is Nathaniel Atom, and I have love for sport.
gripping conversations, business opportunities, and inspiring life stories. In the engine room, we have it all. Tune in to Springboard, your virtual university with Reverend Albert Okran, this Sunday at 7 p.m. on Joy 99.7 FM, Facebook, and YouTube. Catch the repeat telecast on Joy Prime every Saturday at 9 a.m. Sponsors: Enterprise Group, MTN Pulse, UMB Bank, and Central University. Media partners: Joy FM, Joy Prime, and Graphic Business. Springboard. Your personal value will shoot up.
Here's where we turn around. Here's where we turn around.
Bringing hope to many around the globe, transforming lives into legacies. Living Word with Pastor Mensa Otabil.
Life-transforming messages, anointed ministrations, uplifting praise and worship. Experience God's presence and power at Greater Works 2024. Speakers: Pastor Matthew Ashimolowo, Bishop Tudor Bismarck, Bishop Mike Okonkwo, and host Pastor Mensa Otabil. Date: Monday 29th July to Friday 2nd August. Morning sessions from Tuesday 30th July to Friday 2nd August. Time: 9 a.m. Evening sessions. Time: 5 p.m. each night. Venue: ICGC Christ Temple East. Special song ministration by Nathaniel Bassi. Also ministering ICGC choirs and worship leaders. Buses will be available at vantage points across the city to bring you to Christ Temple East and back. Visit gwcentral.org and our social media handles for more details. See you there.
It's coming down. It's coming down. It's coming down. It's coming down.
And now, today's word.
Have you heard the phrase people say, heaven helps those who help themselves? Have you heard that before? Have you used that phrase before? Heaven helps those who help themselves. And many times people even quote it as if it's in the Bible. Heaven helps those who help themselves. It's not in the Bible. You don't find it anywhere in the Bible. When it comes to salvation, heaven does not help those who help themselves. If you help yourself, God won't help you. When it comes to your salvation, heaven helps those who cannot help themselves. Because if you can help yourself, save yourself. But if you say, I can't save myself, I am a sinner, I am lost, Lord save me, then He saves you. Heaven does not help those who help themselves. Heaven helps those who are helpless. God does not need your effort to save you. God saves you when you have no effort. Whilst we were yet sinners, Christ died for us. Our salvation, therefore, does not depend on us, on your effort. You know, sometimes people say, well, I want to be a Christian, but I want to stop drinking first. I want to be a Christian, but I want to stop smoking first. I want to come to church. I want to change, but these women, you let me stop with the women and then I'll come to church. No, what you are saying is, let me use my works before I come for grace. And if it is of works, then it's not of grace. If it is of grace, then you come as you are and you say, Lord, I am stuck. I'm a drunkard. I can't overcome this problem. Help me. And His grace becomes sufficient for you. So if it is of grace, it is grace. If you want works, go on works. But if you want grace, then stick with grace, because grace does not require your works. Our salvation does not depend on our effort to be good, our effort to be nice. You don't come to God after you have half polished yourself. Then you say, God, I've done half of the job already. So you do the other half. If it is of grace, then let him go all the way. I can't do it, Lord. Help me. I can't save myself. Save me. I can't heal myself. Heal me. If it's of grace, then it must be grace. So, depending on our works frustrates God's grace. And the reason why the Christian life sometimes gets very frustrating for us is because we try so hard in our own might to live for God. Some people believe in themselves so much that they can't believe God again. They can't believe God is able to save them to the uttermost. God is able to make the drunkard sober. God is able to deliver you from drug addiction. God is able to deliver you from womanizing or menizing. God is able to deliver you from gambling addiction. God is able to deliver you from habits you have formed all your life.